Yeah, I have a question. Where do you get off? Where do you find the right? What are some of the things that you enjoy as being the principal of the only Catholic school in Lincoln?
I do love that we are the only Catholic high school in Lincoln, because I look at places like Omaha where they have 6 Catholic high schools all vying for the Catholic students in Omaha and kind of competing with each other. And I love that we have 18 parishes from around the Lincoln area that are all sending kids and supporting us here at Pius. To be able to work in a Catholic environment with such supportive parents, such great students, being able to really blend so easily my faith, our faith, and my day-to-day work has just been a real blessing. And working with people that over the years, as you know, like the Mr. Leyshock and Mrs. Chappelle, who I started with 28 years ago, the friendships that have developed over these years is just, it really makes Pius special. How about you? What was the question? What do you love about Pius, and what are you happy to leave behind as you leave here?
Kind of like as you said, there's so many schools that funnel into Pius, so it was cool to meet all the other kids, and I mean, it really is just a mixing pot of different personalities and meeting new people. I think I'll be happy to leave behind all the principal jokes. I think that'll be good. I think it'll be nice to start a new life where no one really knows who I am in KU, so I'm excited to have a fresh start.
When there's a forecast for a foot of snow, let's say, and you're down at KU, what would you like your classmates to do down there?
Personally, I love it every time people hit me up and they say, "Hey, ask your dad to cancel school." I love that.
Yeah,
maybe
they'll still do that next year, maybe.
I mean, now it's going to be more your call than it was in the past, so.
It was never my call, let's be clear on that, and it won't be any more my call, let's be clear on that.
So stop texting Brianna, okay? She's not going to cancel school for you.
How much has it been for over the 4 years, and has it changed or been the same in terms of you're the principal's kid?
It has been that way for pretty much the whole time. Coming into even last day of school, I mean, just they're relentless. Those kids are ruthless, but I mean, it's all in good fun. And I mean, for anyone who really knows me, I mean, it's all just jokes. So it's nothing too terrible. But I mean, it did get annoying at times, but I was expecting it.
Yeah.
So obviously being a principal with having your kids here, obviously your relationship with teachers is a little different, because not only are you their boss, but they're also your kids' teachers. So how did you balance knowing when to act as their boss and act as your kids' parent, and stepping in and being part of that?
Yeah, it is a good question, and I would say, how did I balance? I'm not sure I always did it well. I tried to do things like, I would never call you out of class. I don't know if you noticed, but I'd always have someone else. If I need you out of class, someone else would call you out. I would not I wouldn't do my observations typically. If you were in that classroom or Bree's in a classroom, I would observe a different period. Though there have been a couple times that the teacher requested I come a particular period. I think sometimes I had to listen as your dad on the way home when you're unhappy with such and such teacher, maybe some...
That never happened, by the way.
No, but if it ever would...
If it did happen,
yes.
It never did, but if it did...
then I would have to,
okay.
Right, listen as a father. And sometimes I had to make decisions that were unpopular for students, and I knew, making the decision, that some of that was going to come back on you. Or at least had the potential to come back on you. And I know that sometimes you were put in a tough spot. I mean, maybe the question should come back to you. How did you balance that? Because I think sometimes, think about the time this year when a kid accused you of being a snitch on something, and
I was. It was.
Let's set the record straight. This is going to air before graduation.
Was me.
But I mean, there are things like that where I think sometimes kids thought that I was getting information from you guys, which is unfair. And I wonder sometimes if teachers thought that I was getting information from you guys. Parent-teacher conferences were just kind of awkward, so I didn't do a lot of those. And I always felt like I didn't need the parent-teacher conference time to meet with teachers, so if I had a concern, I could just ask them. And honestly, day to day, we'd leave each other at the car in the morning, and other than an occasional nod in the hallway during the day, I wouldn't see it till the end of the day, and that would be it. So there were times when I absolutely thought about the fact that I'm making decisions, and that I'm your father making those decisions as a principal, and that might put you in a tough spot. But there wasn't a ton of time that I felt like even wonder, well, where's Andrew this period, or that sort of thing.
Right.
I just didn't care that much. I mean,
wow. There you have it.
Bree, I always knew where she was every period,
right, yep.
But he was like,
always had to check in on her. Just make sure.
Exactly. I walked her class to class, but anyway.
Well, as you know, moving on, how do you feel moving up to a higher position? What are your emotions going through something like that?
Yeah, I think I'm at peace, as you know, with the decision. It's going to be a different day-to-day life than what I'm used to, and I'm not entirely sure what that day-to-day is going to look like. So there's a little bit of this that is uncertain for me, but I'm glad that I'm still part of the Pius family, and hopefully I can contribute to continue and build on the tradition that Pius has. And how about you? How do you feel about leaving Pius and heading on to KU and kind of the life that's ahead of you?
Well, I've lived here for 18 years now, so I think I've done my time here, and I'm excited to move on to a new environment, and I think I'll thrive at KU, so I'm excited for making the jump from high school to college.
Is there any aspect of that change that gives you anxiety?
Probably just the fact that I don't know who my roommate is yet. So hoping I get a good.
Is that a shout out?
Yeah. So if you're out there and you're going to KU,
if you're watching, yeah, exactly.
I don't clean my room very often, but
I can vouch for that. He doesn't. Yeah.